Part 1. Most men don't realize this. The moment they open their mouth, they give away their position, not because of what they say, but because of how fast they say it. Watch it carefully. A man starts speaking. His words rush out. His tone lifts. His sentences collide with each other. And before the point even lands, the room has already decided. They interrupt him. They look away. They stop waiting for the end, not out of cruelty, not out of disrespect, out of instinct. Because speed is not neutral. Speed communicates something. And when a man speaks too fast, the signal is never confidence. It is urgency. It is need. It is pressure. The body hears it before the mind does. Fast speech tells people, I'm not settled. I need this to land. I can't afford silence. And the room reacts accordingly. This is why men who speak fast are rarely seen as leaders, even when they are intelligent, even when they are right. Their words may be logical, but their presence is unstable, and presence always outranks logic. Here is the uncomfortable truth. People don't follow clarity. They follow control, and control is always slow. Most men think confidence lives in content. They rehearse arguments, they polish explanations, they collect facts, but confidence is not proven by information. It is detected through pace. When a man speaks slowly, he sends a silent message. I'm not chasing your approval. I'm not afraid of the pause. I expect to be heard. And expectation shapes behavior. People listen differently when they feel no pressure. They interrupt less. They lean in more. Because calm invites attention. Fast speech does the opposite. Fast speech feels like being pushed, and humans resist pressure by pulling away. This is why men who talk fast often feel ignored. Not because they lack value, but because they leak urgency. Now let's go deeper. Why do men speak too fast? It's not personality, it's not culture, it's not excitement, it's internal tension. Fast speech is the body trying to escape discomfort. Discomfort with silence, discomfort with judgment, discomfort with being fully seen. When a man fears the pause, he fills it. When he fears losing attention, he speeds up. When he doubts his position, he rushes to justify it. And the body reveals all of this instantly. Before anyone analyzes a word, this is why slowing down feels unnatural at first. Because silence exposes you. It forces you to stand still inside yourself. Most men have never trained that. Here's the paradox. The man who speaks slowly does not speak less. He speaks heavier. Each sentence lands. Each word carries weight. The room adjusts to him, while the fast speaker adjusts to the room. That difference decides respect. Think of the men you instinctively trust. They don't rush explanations. They don't stack words. They don't compete with silence. They let gaps exist. And those gaps do something powerful. They create tension. They signal certainty. They force attention. Silence, when held calmly, is not weakness. It is command. But here's where most advice fails. Telling a man to slow down does nothing. Because speed is not a habit of speech. It is a habit of state. If the mind is unsettled, the mouth will rush. So the real work begins elsewhere. Not with words, with the body, with breath, with stillness under pressure. Before we continue, let me say this clearly. This is not about acting slow. It's not about pretending to be calm. And it's not about copying someone else's style. People can detect performance. What they respond to is groundedness. And groundedness can only be trained. Which brings us to the mistake that keeps men stuck. Most men practice calm only when life is calm. They slow down when they are relaxed. They speak clearly when they feel safe. Then tension enters the room. A disagreement, a woman testing them, a group watching, and everything collapses. The speed returns, the voice tightens, the authority disappears. Not because they lack discipline, but because they never trained calm inside tension. That is the difference between appearance and presence. And this is where part 2 begins. If this is hitting something you've noticed in yourself, pause here. Let the idea settle. In part 2, we'll break down how to retrain your pace under pressure, why silence makes people adjust to you, and how to speak less while being taken more seriously. Before you move on, like this video if it resonated, subscribe for disciplined presence and quiet authority, and comment below. Have you noticed how speed changes how people treat you? Part 2. If you understood part 1, you now see something most men never notice. Speaking fast is not a communication problem. It is a self-regulation problem. And self-regulation is the foundation of authority. Now we go deeper. Because understanding the signal is one thing, training it under pressure is another. This is where most men fail. Let's talk about silence. Not awkward silence, not empty silence, controlled silence. The kind that doesn't ask for permission. Most men are terrified of it because silence removes cover. There's nothing to hide behind. No words, no explanations, no momentum. Just you and the room. That's why silence feels dangerous to the untrained man. But to the grounded man, silence is leverage. Here is the rule most men never learn. Whoever is comfortable with silence controls the interaction. Why? Because humans instinctively fill gaps. When you pause calmly, others rush to respond. They explain more. They reveal more. They adjust, and you stay centered. This is not manipulation. It is natural hierarchy. The calm nervous system sets the tempo. The anxious one follows. So how do you train this? Not by speaking slower on purpose. That creates stiffness. The goal is internal slowing. Here's the foundation. Breath first, always. A man who controls his breath controls his pace. When pressure hits, most men breathe shallow and fast. That accelerates speech automatically. Instead, train this. Before speaking, exhale. Not dramatically, not visibly settle the chest. That single exhale buys you space. Space slows thought. Thought slows speech. Speech stabilizes presence. Next principle, shorter sentences. Fast speakers stack ideas. They rush to complete thoughts. The grounded man does the opposite. He finishes early, then he stops and lets the sentence land. This does two things. It removes verbal clutter. It creates natural pauses without effort, pauses that feel intentional. Now let's address fear, because speed is always fear-based, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being challenged, fear of being dismissed. The solution is not confidence talk. It is self-trust. A man who trusts himself does not rush because he does not need to convince. He knows his position, and knowing creates stillness. This is where deeper discipline appears, not as philosophy, not as ideology, but as practice. Training yourself to remain composed when the room is uncertain, training yourself to hold eye contact without filling the gap, training yourself to let people wait. That is inner order. And inner order is what people call presence. Notice something important. The men who command respect rarely speak first, and when they do, they are never rushed. They don't compete for space. They occupy it. That is the difference. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're speaking, end a sentence. Stop. Count one silent beat in your mind. Then continue. Not every sentence, just one. You'll feel the discomfort. Good. That discomfort is the edge. Train there. Over time, the pause becomes natural, and people begin responding differently. They stop interrupting. They listen longer. They mirror your pace because nervous systems sync. Now let's close the loop. Speaking fast is not a flaw. It's a signal. And signals can be retrained, but only if you stop treating confidence as something you perform. Confidence is a byproduct of control, of regulation, of inner stillness. When the inside slows down, the outside follows, every time. This is why men who master pace are taken seriously without effort. They don't demand respect. They invite it. And the room accepts. If you want to build that kind of presence, stay here. This channel is about discipline, not motivation, about self-respect before external respect. If this helped you, subscribe, like the video, and comment below. What situations make you speak faster than you want to? We'll train it.